Broadcasting live from Eddie West Field in downtown Santa Ana, we have Don's football for you this Saturday evening as they get set to take on the Owls of Citrus College. Hello, everyone. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. It has been tough sledding for the Dons in the National Division this season as they are still searching for their first win through 4 games. They've had their fair share of injuries, none bigger than starting quarterback Nate Bento's injury in week 2. Backup QB Justin Gill has done a decent job keeping the Dons within striking distance the past 2 contests. However, the Dons have struggled to put together a well-rounded performance in all facets of the game. First-year head coach Simon Fuentes, along with the rest of the coaching staff, has their work cut out for them tonight against one of the top teams in the state of California. Visiting Citrus College enters tonight with a 3-1 record and moved all the way up to 14 in the latest rankings after defeating number 2 ranked Mount San Antonio last Saturday. The Owls put up an impressive 48 points on offense and were one of the best programs here in Southern California. Citrus is led by 5th-year head coach Brandon Hayashi, who has felt pretty confident with this squad this week after last week's performance. Their win over Mount SAC was the Owls' first victory over the Mounties in 30 years. Look for them to carry that swagger and momentum into tonight's game. The last meeting between these two programs came back in 2022 when both teams were back in the American Metro League. The Owls came out victorious by a final score of 35-7 on the way to a perfect 11-0 season, capturing the American Division Championship. So the Dons win the toss. Captains out on the field for the Dons, Malik Pia and Jesse Vargas. We'll see the Jesse Vargas for the first time since the early goings of the season as he's been dealing with the lower leg injury. And the captains for Citrus College as they run off the field are Thomas White, Cameron Bateman, Jojo Enriquez, and Armin Hornsby. So a few defensive players as captains for the Citrus College Owls. The Owls taking on the Dons here on Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Glad you could join us here on this Saturday evening. The sun hasn't quite set yet. It's been a gloomy, overcast day here in the city of Santa Ana. The sun never really shone much this afternoon. Temperatures in the low 70s, currently 72 as we're getting ready for kickoff. The Dons deferred to the second half, so the Owls will start the opening possession. We have seen the Dons use multiple chip or pooch kicks this year, and so we'll see if they elect to go with that as well. Again, they're led by first-year head coach Simon Fuentes, who played for the Dons himself in the 1993 and 1994 seasons before transferring on to Eastern Kentucky University. In 1994, he helped the Dons win the Mission Conference, and he was the Mission Conference Player of the Year. Was an assistant coach last year as the receivers coach. Diego Hernandez has this ball on the tee. Correction, Devin Coleman has his ball on the tee, ready to kick things off. Lorenza Simmons and Robert Rodriguez back deep to return for Citrus College, standing at their own 8 and 10 yard lines. A short kick to the near side, caught at the 24 by one of the upbacks. Switches fields, goes to the middle. It's finally brought down at the 35. Return that time made by Caleb Morcacho. Don's still looking for their first victory on the season. Citrus, the 14th ranked team in the state, marches their offense out. As a team, they're averaging 33 points per game, which is currently 22nd in the state. They're very effective on third downs. They expect a lot of passes. They go no huddle, like to use a lot of the short offenses. They send a man in motion. It's a handoff to the right side, off the right guard. A lot of room for Keon Chapman the first time we're calling his name. Finally brought down at the Citrus 41-yard line, 46. It's enough for a first down. Quarterback for this evening's game is Brian Salazar Jr. He's a freshman from Monrovia, has thrown for 1,035 yards. I'll tell you a little bit more about him as there's some movement up front. Citrus will move quickly, but before the snap, there is a flag down on the play. False start on one of the linemen. We'll get you the starting offensive lineman right now. At left tackle, it's Ismail Ganley, freshman from Claremont. At left guard, it's Kansas Kialoha. At center, Johnny Blue Lizarraga. At right guard, Jose Torres. And at right tackle, Roberto Salcedo. They send Simmons in motion over here to the near side. They try and throw it to the slant, and almost making an interception was Matthew Gill. Coming from the safety position, Gill was all over that one for the Dons defense, and is now 2nd down and 15. You're going to want to keep an eye on number 6, Cameron Bateman. He's in the slot on the near side, on the near hash, ball on the far hash. He leads the team with 26 catches and 405 receiving yards on the season. Another man in motion, Salazar Jr. dumps it off to the running back Chapman on the near side. Escorted out of bounds by Matthew Gill. At the Owls 42. 3rd down and very long. The yard to gain is the Dons 44. So first substitution at the running back we're seeing for Citrus as Chapman runs out. Angel Barraza Jr., a sophomore from Covina, checks into the game. 3 receivers to the top of the formation. Salazar Jr. Moses is running back to the near side. Looks to air it out deep. Wide open is Chapman. And he's going to stroll into the end zone for the first score of the game. A blown coverage by the Dons on the back end. And with 13:41 in the first quarter, Citrus strikes first. 6-0 is the score. Alex Hernandez to come in and attempt the point after. Give the Citrus Owls a 7-0 lead early on in the first quarter. We mentioned that they defeated Mount SAC last week, one of the better programs here in Southern California. And already off to a quick start in this one here at Eddie West Field. My name is Noah Alvarez. Dons trail 7-0, 13:41 in the first quarter remaining. Can't see the 1 behind the bar right there, but there is a 1 in front of that 3. Miscommunication on the back end by the Dons secondary leads to a Salazar to Cameron Bateman 58-yard touchdown reception for the first score of the evening. Bateman, we mentioned, leads the team in receptions, reception yards, and now has 5 touchdowns on the season. He's a player from Chino Hills High School. That's somebody who the Dons are going to have to be very careful with going forward. Alex Mustaine puts this one on the tee. Owls in their white uniforms. The Dons are in their black uniforms. A lot easier to see the numbers in this black uniform for us here at the Prex Box. Back deep to return, Damian Gomez, along with Anthony Abad. Goes to Gomez here on the near side, takes it at the 15, heads to the near sideline, has some space, gets across the 40, and is finally pushed out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Solid field position for the Santa Ana Dons. It's their first drive we're seeing of them. Backup quarterback Justin Gill. He'll take over for the rest of the season as Nate Bendo officially ruled out for the year. The sophomore quarterback was very effective, put up over 1,500 yards of offense last year as a true freshman. But during Week 2's game at Chaffee College, suffered an injury and will no longer be able to compete this season. So Justin Gill, the sophomore from La Habra, he's a bounce back from McKendree College, D2 University. Has 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions on the year. Completion percentage of 44%. As a motion, Arthur Shaw to the flats. A handoff to Jerron. Jerron does have some space. And we didn't get a chance to mention it, but one of the keys to the game for the offense is they have to establish the run game. Citrus defense, one of the worst in the state of California. 4th most yards given up on the ground. 237 yards per game. So establishing the run will help make things easier for quarterback Gill. Sets up the play action, controls the time of possession as battle as well. Limits the amount of opportunities that the Owls offense gets to go on the field. Gill goes with the hard count. Beatty moves for the Dons on the far side, so it's a false start coming And we'll go ahead and give you the starting offensive line for the Dons. At left tackle, Andrew Ma'ai-Paisi. At left guard, Elijah Clements. Center, Mitchell Jones. At right guard, Kautoke Barton. And at right tackle, Malik Pia. Dons break the huddle. Second down and 13. Yard to gain is the Owls 45. Gill in the shotgun. Jerron the deep back. Shaw to his right. Power to the right side of the formation. Jerron runs into his own player. Does fight for extra yards. Gets to the Dons 46. 3rd and 9 coming up for the Dons. Dons as a team struggled on 3rd down, 39% on the season. They have been exceptional on 4th down, 67%. I'm sure they've gone for it a few more times than they would have liked to on that 4th down on the season. 10 seconds left on the play clock, and the Dons finally do break the huddle. We'll see if they can get this one off. Ball in the near hash. Nathan Meek, the tight end, in the motion. Triple option look to the near side. Jerron gets the pitch and has no room to go. Does fight to the 49. But it'll be short of the sticks. 4th and 6. Dons run out their punt unit. So their first punt of the afternoon. First offensive series gets stalled out by the Owls defense. Back deep to return is Jojo Enriquez. Enriquez runs to the near side, lets this one bounce. Takes a Dons friendly bounce inside the 15 and rolls out. Thanks again for tuning in to Dons Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. While we get this break in the action, a player to keep an eye on while on defense. Keep an eye on Wallace Felemu. He wears number 8. He plays that nickel corner position, and he's not only made big hits at that nickel corner position, but he's made plays in coverage. He leads the team when tackles. 38 on the year, also has a tackle for loss. A very important player to the Dons defense, and if they hope to come out victorious, he's going to have a special game. He's here on the near side. 1st down and 10 for the Owls. It's a handoff. Lots of room over on the right side. He cuts up to the middle and finally brought down at the 35. Big run and gain there for Angel Barraza Jr. Get to the rest of the defensive starters for the Dons. At the defensive line position, they're going with Riker Scott and Porter Nix at the defensive end. Right now they're going with a 3-3-5 look. 3 down defensive linemen, 3 linebackers. Short pass to the near side, caught by J.P. Sandiford. Wrestled down at the 40. In at the nose tackle position, it's Mario Evans, a sophomore from La Habra. 9 players from La Habra High School on this Dons roster. 2nd down and 7 coming up. The Owls play with tempo. Jesse Vargas in on the formation as well as one of those nickels. Looks like they're going with more of a 3-2-6 look as the Dons prepare for the pass-heavy attack of the Citrus offense. Salazar Jr. motions his running back Chapman to the near side. There's a window on the near side. He fits it into Sandiford, back-to-back catches, and Vargas wrestles him down at the Dons' 47-yard line. The Owls cross the 50. 10 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Another Owls first down. Again, averaging 285 yards through the air. Salazar Jr. has been very efficient. 12 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions as a freshman from Monrovia. Bigger package in as they have 2 tie downs down to the near side of the formation. They fake the handoff. They want to air it out to the receiver on the far side. There's some contact, and flags get thrown by the referees on the far side. Pass intended for Lorenza Simmons. Man in coverage there, Jacob Gadsden, freshman from Kennedy High School. It's a relatively young roster here for the Dons. Total of 24 sophomores this year. So it is a pass interference penalty on Gadsden, the far side corner. We'll get you the rest of the defensive starters. Gabriel Bagdanoff and Mac Wolf starting at the linebacker position. Both Filemu and Jesse Vargas start at the nickel. Josh Patton starts at the deep safety. And Matthew Gill, who we've seen made a few plays already, starts at that strong safety position. Two tight ends to the right side of the formation. Ball in the near hash. It's a handoff up the middle. Not much room there for the back as he stopped at the line of scrimmage. They're going to give him a generous spot to the Dons 33. Gain of 1, they say. First recalling of Devontae Jones this evening. And that's his first carry of the season. There's a lot of guys who've gotten carries this year for the Owls, but that's his first carry of the season. Two tight ends down in on the formation. Ace package, 12 personnel. Keaton Morales to the far side. Jojo Enriquez down to the near side. They motion the receiver, Simmons. Simmons gets the pitch. Jet sweep to the far side. Brought down by Filemu. Freshman from Orange Lutheran. Making his impact felt already. Now we're going to see Malik Pia run out into the field. While at Garden Grove High School, he was a very effective defensive and offensive lineman, being asked to play both ways here in this evening's contest for the first time. Empty backfield. Nobody in the backfield with Salazar Jr. Timeout called by the Dons. They want to talk things over. 8:13 left to go in the first quarter. We'll take our first commercial break. We'll be right back after this.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion, someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
After the timeout, 8:13 left to go in the first quarter. Thanks again for tuning in to Dons Football on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. My name is Noah Alvarez. 3rd down and 6. The Owls have completed 42% of their third down conversions this season. Empty backfield for Salazar Jr. No motion. He looks to the near side. Lots of room for their slot receiver. And Bateman makes another catch. Gang of Dons rally to bring him down at the 20. Another first down for the Owls. They're now in Don's territory, just outside. We're now in the red zone, right at the 20. 1st and 10. 3 receiver to the top of the formation. 2 down to the near side. Salazar Jr. motions. An orbit motion to the receiver. A short pass to the right side. Lots of blocking in front of him. Decides to cut back into the middle. And is brought down. Flag comes in at the very end. Might be a holding penalty on the Citrus Owls. Bit of shoving after the play as well. Block in the back on the Owls receiver. That's why he had so much opening there. That was a catch made by Steve Carlin. Check that. It was Robert Rodriguez who made the catch in the open field. Rodriguez in the slot on the top of the formation. Ball on the far hash. 1st down and 12 after the penalty. Salazar Jr. Another empty backfield. Looks to throw it short on the near side. Some contact, but no flag is thrown. Pass was intended for Jalen Thompson. Second down and 12. Yard to gain is the Dons' 10-yard line. The Owls just outside of the red zone. Keon Chapman, the running back, to the left of Salazar Jr. A man in motion. It's a fake handoff. Throw to the near side. No room to go as he's brought down to the ground. It's the first we're seeing of Amari Bucci, freshman from Irvine, gets the start at corner this evening. Both he and Deacon Moss are from Irvine High School, and both players contributing as their freshmen. Always exciting to see. The Dons do have a bright future with such a young roster, despite their record and the obstacles they faced this year. 3rd down and 14. Can the Dons come up with a big stop? The Owls motion another man. It's a shovel pass. Keaton Morales gets the pitch. Lots of room up the middle. He's finally met at the 13. Good play design. Does get them back into the red zone, and it does look like they're going to run their PAT, or their field goal unit, onto the field. 6:20 left to go in the first quarter. It'll be Alex Hernandez to attempt the field goal. Holder spotted up at the 25-yard line. A 35-yard field goal coming up for Hernandez. 3 for 3 on the season. And he stays perfect. 4 for 4 on the year. Citrus takes a 10-0 lead here with 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in to Dons Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. While we have this break in the action, we want to remind you that you could donate directly to the Santa Ana College Athletics program. Know that your support goes directly towards helping our student athletes thrive both on and off the field. With your donation, they will have the tools, resources, and opportunities to continue competing at a high level and representing Santa Ana College with pride. Your donation truly makes a difference. We appreciate you for supporting the Santa Ana College family. Mustaine has this on the tee. Arthur Shaw back deep to return on the far side. It's a short kick for Gomez. Bounces away from Gomez. He picks it up at the 23. And a few players drag him out of bounds. We'll see the second series for the Dons offense. We showed you a cool graphic for Falemu on defense. We have a cool graphic here for Deacon Moss. He's the player to watch for the Dons offense. A freshman receiver from Irvine. Leads the team in a few different categories. Leads the team with 17 receptions. Also leads the team with 313 receiving yards. Also has 5 receiving touchdowns on the year. Very special player to watch. He's down on the bottom of your screen. Justin Gill takes the snap. It's a handoff. Up the middle. All the way to the Owls, or to the Dons' 32-yard line. Sets up 2nd down and 5. Anthony Abad, the ball carrier, in the game. Mickey Chinchilla in at fullback on the near side of the formation. Abad, the D-back. Nathan Meek, the tight end, to the left of the formation. They motion Chinchilla out to the far side as a slot receiver. It's a handoff to Abad. He shoots through the left side and does get to the 40, I'm going to say 39-yard line. Forward progress stopped at the 39. It'll be enough for a first down. It's the first down for the Dons this evening. They're already trailing 10-0. 5 minutes in the first quarter. Dons head from left to right on your screen in the black uniforms, white helmets. Malachi Beatty, the receiver, down at the bottom of your screen. Chinchilla in at the slot. Ball in the middle of the field. Bod stays in as the D-back. First down. It's a pass play for Gill. He looks to his right. There's room for him to step up, and he takes off. His helmet comes off right at midfield. And luckily for him, the Citrus Owls sort of let up right there as he was stood up. Could have been ugly for him. Gill does have to come off for a play. We're going to see Bodie Stafford, freshman from Gonzaga Prep Spokane. So first we're seeing of Stanford here at home. He did make an appearance on the road against Chaffee College the week that Nate Bento was knocked out of the game. Again, the Dons have been on their second-string quarterback for much of the season. First, we're getting to look of Bodie Stanford, who wears number 17. And we'll see if the Dons just elect to run it on this first down and 10. Ball at the middle of midfield. Chinchilla motions out to the right side of the formation. To hand off to Abad, squirts ahead to the Owls' 49-yard line, gain of 1. The Owls defense came up big. If you look at the stats in the box score last week against Mount Sac had more yards, total yards. They had less penalties. There was a lot of stats in favor, but the Owls defense came away with 2 big interceptions. Elijah Ibanez, you see number 12 on your screen. He's in at the nickel, plays the same position that Wallace Felemu plays for the Dons. He came away with the big interception. Keep an eye on Thomas White and Maddox Barrios. They're the 2 linebackers that play in this 2-4-5 look that the Owls like to use. Another handoff. No, it's a fake handoff. Chinchilla gets the swing pass on the near side, runs into his blocker, cuts back up to the middle. Not a whole lot of space. Tackled down by Jarrell Comer. Again, their defense, more of a 2-4-5 as they put 2 guys down with their finger in the dirt. Right now, it's Jadakis Wakala and Leo Lopez. Bear Baker and Jarrell Comer, more of a linebacker type. They'll ask them sometimes to drop into coverage. Out at the corner positions are Curly Kirkpatrick Jr. on the near side and Duran Johnson on the far side. 3rd down and 7 for the Dons. And still the backup quarterback into the game. He flings it out to Nathan Meek, and the ball comes out late. Bear Baker comes away with the ball, and a very fortunate call for the Dons as they say he was down on the ground, but that one was a bang-bang play. Nearly a turnover. They kept in Stafford in for 2 or 3 plays on that last series. Now Justin Gill runs out onto the field. 4th down and 2. We mentioned the Dons, 67% on the season on 4th down attempts. Yard to gain is the Owls 40. 2 backs in the backfield. The deep back. They motion Chinchilla to the near side. Deacon Moss, the receiver by himself at the top of your screen. Meek down on the formation. They went with the hard count. Now Gill relays the audible to his team. A handoff to Abad, up the center, and he gets stopped at the 41 of the Owls. I don't think he got enough. The referee on the far side said it's a turnover on downs. The Dons go for it on 4th down. Something you're seeing a lot more with a lot of the analytic approach to football, but that time it cost the Dons. They turn it over on downs, and the Owls take over at their own 41. Thanks again for tuning in to Dons Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Salazar Jr. and the offense back on the field. They're going to motion Sandiford to the far side of the formation. Barraza Jr. gets the handoff. Big hole on the left side, past the 35 and inside the 30 as he's finally brought down at the Dons 26. Big gain for Barraza Jr. Came into the game with only 6 rushes and 19 yards on the season. Made his impact felt as a sophomore. Owls like to play with tempo, already lined back up on the field, ready for their next play. They motion Sandiford. Salazar Jr. wants to attack the middle. Bateman goes down to make that grab and walks into the end zone. Less than a minute left to go. Citrus strikes again. 17-0 is the score. 16-0, pending the extra point. Clock stops with 40 seconds exactly. We knew this was going to be a tough match, and it's a really tough slate of games for the Dons. If you look ahead at their schedule, 3 of their next 4 teams are ranked in the top 15 in the state of California. Citrus here at number 14. They have a bye week next week. Mount Sac currently ranked number 8th in the state of California, and Ventura ranked number 4. The extra point is good by Alex Hernandez, and the Dons trail 17-zip. 40 seconds left to go in the first quarter. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in to Dons Football this Saturday evening. And if you look at the schedule for the Dons, a bye week next week, they host Mount Sac, the Mounties, a team that's year in and year out, one of the best in Southern California and always in the playoffs. The following week, they do take on Long Beach City College, who is still searching for their first win. So the Dons do have a chance to pick up their first victory in the middle of October. And on Saturday, October 25th, the Dons host their last and final home game of the season against Ventura College, the number 4th ranked team in the state of California at the moment. Both games in November will come on the road, November 1st at Moore Park and November 8th at Santa Barbara. They're also looking for their first victory on the season. Pooch kick to the near side, trying to keep it away from Damian Gomez. It looks like Chinchilla, who made the catch, does get it up to the 37-yard line. That's Brandon Duran, one of the running backs. Very proven carrier. 33 seconds away from the end of the first quarter. Third offensive series for the Dons. They were stalled out on a 4th and 2, elected to run the ball up to Abad. He was short by about half a yard. The Dons turned it over on downs, and the Owls went on to score again. We'll see what Gill and the offense can do. Ball on the Dons' 37-yard line. Shaw in the backfield at that fullback position. Duran the deep back. Duran gets the handoff, weaves, cuts to his left, and brought down from behind. Thought he was going to get away from Bear Baker. Well, that's Elijah Ibanez, the nickel corner in this Owls defense. And with 20 seconds left, that could be the last play of the first quarter. Dons in no rush. Still huddled up with 6 seconds left. And that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Your score after 15 minutes, Citrus 17, Santa Ana 0. We'll cut to another commercial break. Come back with the action after this.
This is it.
Have a good first day.
You too, Mom.
Everyone's journey looks a little different at Santa Ana College, whether you're just starting out or starting a new chapter. With flexible classes, valuable student services, and a range of degrees and certificate programs, students of all kinds can find inspiration and empowerment at Santa Ana College. Start your journey at Santa Ana College. Is up to you.
Life doesn't change overnight. It takes effort and dedication. It takes learning new skills and putting yourself and loved ones first. At Santa Ana College, you can complete a full-time accelerated online program in just 2 years. Choose a program that meets your needs and changes your educational dreams into a well-deserved reality. Building the life you want means taking a first step. Start your journey at Santa Ana College, where it leads.
I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. Cause I took control of things. Ball in the solo way.
It's the beginning of the second quarter. Dons trail 17-0. Second down and 9 for Justin Gill in the offense. The handoff to Duran. Duran cuts back to the right and is chopped down by the linebacker, Thomas White. Goes low on the tackle there and stops Duran in his tracks. Third down. Ball spotted at the Dons 42, we'll say. Yard to gain is the 47. Third down and a long 5. Damian Gomez, the receiver by himself at the bottom of your screen. Deacon Moss at the top. Arthur Shaw lines up in the slot. Very versatile player. Very good for the Dons in 2022. Took a couple years off. Gill looks to air it out. He has Deacon Moss down the far sideline. He gets past the first tackle and is met by White and Ibanez. But inside the 25-yard line, Moss, another big play for the Dons offense. Now 18 receptions on the year. He's the younger brother of Beck Moss, a quarterback that we had a couple seasons ago. We haven't seen a freshman receiver make this kind of impact for the Dons since Malachi Pierce, also who played with Beck Moss in 2023. And you can make the argument, Malachi Pierce did it against the American Division teams. Deacon Moss doing it here against the National Division teams. Much tougher competition. Obviously, the stats are going to be in favor of Pierce, who went on to set records. Jerron gets another handoff. He crosses the 15, is dragged down at the 11. They say 12-yard line, so a yard short. 2nd down and 1, and the Dons are in the red zone. This is an area of the field where they've struggled on the season. They've had 14 trips to the red zone. They've only scored 8 times, and they've gotten touchdowns on 5 of those. If you look at the numbers for the Citrus, they've made the red zone 15 times this year, and they've scored 12 touchdowns, and they've scored on all 15. You have to capitalize when you're this deep in the territory. Jerron gets the handoff, pressure in the backfield. He does escape the first 2 tackle attempts, and he gets to the 10-yard line. A very impressive performance there by the sophomore running back. Jerron transferred from ELAC, East Los Angeles. That was the last home team the team that came to Eddie West Field that we saw 2 weeks ago. Last year as a freshman, Jerron rushed for 331 yards on the ground. It's enough for a Dons first down, and since they're at the 10-yard line, it's 1st down and goal for the Dons. Gill with Shaw and Jerron the deep back. Moss in the slot to the top of your screen. Gill hands it off to Jerron. Jerron gets past the first defender, stopped at the 6, keeps his feet moving, and look at him carry bodies to the 1. What a run there by the sophomore as he's pumped up after the play. Dons have a chance to punch it in here with 12 minutes left to go in the 2nd quarter. Second down and goal. Ball at the half-yard line. Not even going to say it's a full yard. We'll see if they give it Jerron to finish off the drive. Meek goes to the left side of the formation. Shaw also in on that side as well. 2 receivers to the top of your screen. Gill lays out directions to Meek. Meek motions. Now Shaw motions to the other side of the formation. It's a handoff to Jerron. Lots of space. First touchdown of the evening. With 11:25 left to go in the 2nd quarter, Dons make it a 17-6 game. An impressive drive there, led by the running back, Brandon Jerron. Picked up a couple big runs there, and after that run, has 29 rushing yards on the ground this evening thus far. It'll be Devin Coleman. No, Diego Hernandez to attempt the point after. Snap is good. Hold is good. Hernandez punches it through and makes it a 17-7 game. Thanks again for tuning in to Dons Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Brandon Jerron now has 35 rushing yards off of 9 attempts this evening, as he really carried the load for the Dons in that last series. We mentioned that the Citrus Owls defense very vulnerable. 237 rushing yards allowed per game, 4th worst in the state of California. So we'll see if the Dons can use that ground game to get back into this game, as they're already trailing by 10. We mentioned that the Owls are coming off an upset victory. Last week they defeated Mount SAC 48-43. We mentioned that Mount SAC had more first downs, more rushing yards, more passing yards, just more total yards in general. Still, the Citrus Owls were able to win that game in impressive fashion. At one point, we're trailing 26-7. It's a return from Rodriguez. Rodriguez pushed out near midfield on the far side. 11:16 left to go in the 2nd quarter. The Citrus offense will make their way back out onto the field. We'll see more of Salazar Jr., who's connected with his top receiver, Cameron Bateman. It's a player the Dons have to key in on. They hope to fight back into this game. They're going to say that Rodriguez stepped out before the 40 at the 37-yard line. So they back him up a few yards. The Owls would do this as they had 3 players in the backfield. They now motion 2 of them out wide here to the near side. Salazar Jr., joined by Chapman, dumps it off short to Keaton Morales. Morales has some space, makes Wolf miss, and is pushed out of bounds at the Owls' 44-yard line. Second down and short. 11 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Three receivers bunched to the bottom of your screen. Ball on the far hash. Chapman again in the backfield. It's a miscommunication. Salazar Jr. tried to give it to his back, and now Salazar Jr. smartly throws it out of bounds. A very wise play there by the freshman. There was miscommunication. Not sure if that was supposed to be a play action and a fake handoff, or he was actually supposed to give the ball to his running back. Nonetheless, a very good play there by the freshman quarterback. And now the referees are going to call time, and they're going to see if that's going to be an intentional grounding. Remember, the quarterback has to be outside the pocket, which he was, but the ball does have to get back to the original line of scrimmage at least. That's what we're unsure of. I'm sure the referees are going to discuss that. And so he does throw down the flag. The referee throws down the flag at the 31. It's an intentional grounding. So huge turn of events here if the Dons can get in the stop right after scoring. It's a loss of down. So it'll stay third down for Salazar Jr. and the Owls offense. So ball placed down at the 31. Owls have to get to the 47. They're down in 16. Empty backfield. No, they're going to keep marching them back. So the ball now set up at the 26. There's a discussion between the umpire and the referee this evening. Maybe they're not on the same page. We've seen the Dons DBs also not be on the same page this evening. They go back to the 31, so a little back and forth. Umpire tries to get his steps in. So, nonetheless, it's still third down and long for Salazar Jr. and the Owls offense. Dons bring some pressure wide open over the middle. It's another catch for Enriquez. Enriquez makes it past the 30 and is brought down at the 25. Too much space given over the middle. The Dons have gone beat a few times over the middle of the field this evening. That time Enriquez, another important player, entered tonight's match with 9 catches and 97 yards through the air. Another pass to Enriquez. Helemu puts a body on him, and that is an incomplete pass. Enriquez heard footsteps and drops the ball. 9:54, the clock stops. Second quarter of action. Dons trail 17-7. Dons led by first-year head coach Simon Fuentes, Brandon Hiyashi, in his 5th season as the head of the Citrus football program. 3-1 on the year. Lots of motion we're seeing here in the Citrus offense. It's a handoff to Chapman. Chapman to the left side. Does get past the first defender. But the Dons rally and stop him in his tracks at the 24-yard line. It does look like Mario Evans holding his left arm. He has to jog off the field. That'll bring Juan Barreto. Dons will go back to that 3-down lineman look. And we'll see what kind of pressure they can bring here on this 3rd down and 9. The yard to gain is the Dons 15. The Owls have their receivers bunched in tight. Wants to air it out deep to the near side. Some contact there, and there's the flag by Patton. Patton, the deep safety in coverage. An extra shove on Jalen Thompson, the intended receiver. An easy decision for the back judge. Tough break there for the Dons defense. They did a nice job of setting up a 3rd down and long for the Owls offense, but the Owls able to convert on the penalty. Jesse Vargas comes off the field. We'll get you the new D-line in. Jordan Armijo comes in at the defensive tackle position. I mentioned Riker Scott in as the near side defensive end. Elijah Magana in on the game on the top of your screen, down as the defensive end. 2 tight ends to the right side of the formation. Fake the handoff to Chapman. Wide open is Morales over the middle. And Morales has his first touchdown reception on the evening. Makes it a 23-7 game pending the extra point. It also looks like Patton was the man in coverage that time. Big size advantage. Keaton Morales listed as a tight end. And the tight end stands at 6'3", weighs 215 pounds. He's from Scottsdale, Arizona. One of the many sophomores on the roster. 20 sophomores to be exact for Brandon Hayashi. Point after by Hernandez is good. 8:49 in the second quarter. Dons trail 24-7. Thanks again for tuning into Don's Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. We'll throw up a QR code on your screen. We want to remind you that you can now donate directly to the Santa Ana College Athletics program. Know that your support goes directly towards helping our student athletes thrive both on and off the field. Your donation will give the Dons the tools, resources, and opportunities to continue competing at a high level and representing Santa Ana College with pride. We appreciate your donation in advance, and thank you for supporting the Santa Ana College Athletics family. Shaw back deep as a returner on the near side. Gomez to the top of your screen. Low line drive kick to Gomez. It'll bounce a couple times before Gomez picks it up at the 15. He starts heading towards the near hash. Gomez has some room and gets past midfield. He uses the speed here to get past the 30 and is brought down from behind inside the 25. What a return there by Gomez. Started out wide, made his way to the middle of the field, and just patiently weaved his way, waited for his blocks to get set up. The Dons will have plus field position starting at the Owls 22. Last year was Malachi Bay, a freshman from Garden Grove. This year, it's Damian Gomez, a sophomore from La Habra. They have been big in the return game these last two seasons, the Dons have. Dons offense huddled up. Justin Gill looks to lead the Dons to another score. Anthony Abad, the deep back. Chinchilla, the fullback on the right of the formation. First down and 10. Gill motions Chinchilla out to the near side. It's a pass to Meek, the tight end. No space to go as Ibanez wrestles them down to the Dons' 27-yard line. Loss of about 3 on the play. It's been a struggle for Nathan Meek. He's a sophomore tight end. Led the team in many different receiving categories last year. Led the team with 263 yards, 3 touchdowns. Both him and Nate Bento went to El Dorado High School, so they brought that chemistry from high school here to the junior college level. However, with backup Justin Gill, just not the same connection, as he's only had 2 receptions since the Chaffee College game on the season. I think that time they're going to get Meek leaning. Second down and 13. The Dons had really good field position, and they continue to back up now after the penalty. It is a penalty on Nathan Meek. And only 8 catches on the season. He had a big first game against Bakersfield College when Bento was still the starter. But since then has been really quiet in that Bakersfield game. Caught 5 passes for 60 yards. Gill drops back, wants to air it out deep. Moss has a step on his defender, but he overshoots his freshman receiver by a couple of steps. And it's now 3rd down and forever. Third down and 18. Clock stops at 7:25. The yard to gain is the Owls' 13-yard line. For the Dons, you at least want to get back into field goal range. We haven't seen Diego Hernandez attempt a field goal longer than 40 yards on the season, so they would have to at least get 9 to 10 yards on this play here. Moss by himself on the bottom of the screen. Gill looks that direction, now looks over the middle, wants to get it to his tight end, Meek. There's some contact. No flag is thrown. The ball was overthrown. And we'll see if they leave the Dons offense out on the field. No players run out from the punt unit yet. Closest man in coverage was Donovan Perez, the safety from Covina. Now Malachi Beatty and Braden Downen. Downan's an interesting story. He's listed as a quarterback on the roster, but playing receiver this year. Was a fantastic quarterback for Lakewood High School back in 2023 season. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. 4th down and 18. Dons have to get all the way to the Owls' 13-yard line. Gill drops back, looks over the middle, has Gomez, and it's tipped by Thomas White. The linebacker underneath the receiver tips it up in the air, and it was almost an interception for the Owls defense. The Dons stall out. After starting the ball on the Owls' 22-yard line, they only go backwards, and it's now Owls after the turnover on downs. So Don's defense takes the field along with the Owls offense. Keon Chapman in the backfield alongside Salazar Jr. They motion Sandiford to the near side of the formation. Play action. Wants to air it out deep. Patton, the man in coverage, gets his hand on it and nearly had an interception. The pass was intended for Sire Foster. Patton in perfect coverage, unable to make the interception. That would have been huge. If the Dons could come away with a turnover, that's something they've struggled with this season. Only 4 turnovers on the year, and they have a -10 turnover margin on the season. Another receiver in motion. They fling it out short to Foster. Foster has some room on the far side. Gets past the 35. Brought down at the 37, let's say 38-yard line by Matthew Gill. 6:40. Clock continues to roll here in the second quarter. 3rd down and short. Yard to gain is the Owls' 42-yard line. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Jalen Thompson and J.P. Sandiford. Salazar Jr. with a tight end to the top of the formation. This time they motion Bateman to the near side as a short pass for the slot receiver. Bateman met by Gill and a whole gang of Don's defenders as they smack him down to the turf. Loss on the play, and that'll set up 4th down. The Owls send out their punt unit. Big stop defensively there for the Dons. Matthew Gill has been playing very well at that defensive back position. They move around, mostly play safety for the Dons defense. Jonas Areso also in on the tackle. Gomez and Moss are both back deep. So we're going to see the first of Moss as a punt returner this season. He's a player you just want to get the ball in his hands. This one takes a short bounce backwards for the Owls. Down at the Dons 43. The Dons will have at least one more possession before the first half comes to an end. They trail 24-7. Thanks again for tuning in to Dons Football on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Dons still looking for their first victory. It's their first season being back in the National Division since 2015. They've been at the top of the American Division the past few years. They've had to reload this year. A lot of freshmen on the roster. A lot of new players getting more playing time than they expected after some key injuries. A handoff to Shaw, and it's a good sign to see Shaw back into the game and getting some touches. He shoots ahead to the 46-yard line. We mentioned Shaw played back in 2021 when the Dons were led by head coach Anthony White. He had a spectacular season as a freshman, had 73 rushing yards, but mainly played as a receiver. 56 receptions, 798 receiving yards, and 9 receiving touchdowns. A freshman from Fullerton High School back in 2021. Missed the last 3 seasons, but was back here in 2025. They motion Shaw to the near side of the formation. A handoff to Duran. Duran has some space. Passes midfield and is brought down at the Owls 44. Despite the score, the Dons have to stick to this ground game because the Owls are not very good at stopping the run. They haven't showed any commitment or changes to their game plan to stopping the run today. If the Dons continue to gash, might as well go with what works. Make life easier for quarterback Justin Gill. 4:19 left to go in the second quarter. Moss to the top of your screen. Malachi Beatty The receiver on the near side. Shaw motions out to the right. High snap. Gill brings it down. Jerron gets the handoff, and he's wrestled down in the backfield. Jadakiss of Wakakala brings him down for a 1-yard loss. Second down and 11 coming up. Long huddle here for the Dons. 15 seconds left on the play clock. 2 backs in the backfield. Shaw to the right of Gill. Jerron the deep back. Gill fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, wants to air it out deep, looks for his receiver, Beatty. Beatty has a defender draped all over him and can't make the catch. There is the flag down on the near side. We see a conversation being held between Malik Pia, one of the offensive linemen, along with the offensive line coach, Kelly Ackridge. Down here on the near sideline as Pia walks back. And so it is on the offensive line. Malik Pia, guilty of being too far down the field. The Owls elect to decline the penalty and they stay 3rd down and 11. Yard to gain is the Owls 34. 4-down territory for the Dons. Moss to the top of your screen. He still only has 1 reception on the evening. Gill drops back, looks left, a short pass for Beatty. Beatty makes the catch at the 38, spun down at the 35-yard line. 2 yards short of a first down. If you're the Dons, you have to go for it here. Trailing by 17. Tackle there made by Kirkpatrick Jr. 4th down and a long 2, they say. 2:45, clock continues to roll. Jerron the deep back. Shaw. No, that's Chinchilla who motions out to the right side of the formation. Jerron takes it on the left side, met by a wall of Citrus defenders. I don't think he got it. Stopped at the 35. The yard to gain was the 34. In on the stop, Raymond Esparza along with Wakakala. Those two bring down Jerron, and it's the 2nd time this evening. The Dons failed to come up with it on a 4th down conversion. 2:24 left to go in this first half. Dons trail 24-7 to Citrus College. Citrus College, the 14th ranked team in the state of California after upsetting Mount SAC. There's been a few upsets this year at the 3C2A level. Salazar Jr. hands it off to Chapman. Chapman cuts back against the grain. Gets to the 38, gain of 2. And we'll see if they elect to call a play before the 2-minute timeout. Down on the defensive line for the Dons, Porter Nix on the near side. He switches now to the far side. Riker Scott moves to the near side, and we're going to have a timeout. The 2-minute timeout, that is. And with that break in the action, we'll cut to a commercial break ourselves. Dons trail 24-7. Final 2 minutes of the first half when we come back.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion. Someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
Second down and 8. Having some trouble with the camera right now. But 2nd down and 8, we'll do our best to give you the action going down on the field. Salazar Jr. makes a complete pass to the far side of the field. It's Bateman one more time, brought down inbounds at the 40-yard line. It'll set up the Dons defense with a 3rd and 5. Owls go tempo. 3rd down and 5. Yard to gain is the Owls 46, and there's going to be a timeout by the Dons defense. So before the next play, the Dons will get a chance to talk things over. Again, the Dons trail 24-7 here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. The Owls were the ones to strike first at the very beginning of the game, less than 3 minutes into the game. It was Salazar Jr. who hit Cameron Bateman for a 50-yard pitch and catch. That put up Citrus 7-0. Then on their next possession, Alex Hernandez punched in a 35-yard field goal with 6 minutes left to go in the first to give the Owls a 10-0 lead. The Owls then made it 17-0 as Salazar Jr. was able to find Cameron Bateman one more time. Second score of the evening for 26 yards out. And that made it a 17-0 game at the very tail end of the first quarter. Brandon Duran got the Dons' first score on a 7-play, 63-yard drive in 4 minutes, giving the Dons a 17-7 score. And then the Owls responded. Salazar Jr. found Keaton Morales for a 9-yard pitch and catch. 3rd down and 5. They motion Chapman out to the flats. It's a screen pass to the backside and no room to go. The Dons swarm to the ball carrier. A loss of 2 on the play. Clock continues to run, 1:20 left. The Owls will send out their punt unit. Gomez and Moss jog out onto the field for the Dons return team. Alex Hernandez back deep to punt. Stands at his own 23. With the play clock, he could take this down to about 50 seconds left in the first half. Good punt by Hernandez. Gomez calls for a fair catch at his own 22. And exactly 50 seconds remain in the first half. Again, in the drive that they scored, Duran was able to pick up 30 of his 35 rushing yards on the evening in that drive and was able to punch it in from 1 yard out. He led the team down to score. Gill on the evenings, 2 for 5. Hasn't been asked to throw the ball a whole lot. 32 yards through the air. Stafford is also 2 for 2, 7 yards through the air. Came in for a couple plays as Gill lost his helmet on a big hit. 50 seconds left. We'll see what the Dons do here. 2 backs in the backfield. They hand off to Duran. Duran stops. No room. 3 defenders there for the Owls defense. A 1-second differential, so the Dons do have to snap the ball. Jarrell Comer in on the stop, along with Leo Lopez. Dons in no rush to get this play off. 10 seconds left on the play clock. 2 backs in the backfield. Duran the deep back. To hand off to Shaw. Shaw does have some space off the right guard and gets to the 29. 3-2, final second here in the first half, and that marks the end of the first half. Dons trail Citrus College 24-7. We'll take a break for the halftime break, and when we come back, we'll come with some first half statistics as well as some scores from around the 3C2A.
Starting your college journey is a big step. It requires discipline and dedication while you balance your work, life, and education. At Santa Ana College, you can choose a pathway that fits into your schedule and leads you toward your personal and educational goals. Earn an associate degree, university transfer, career training, or even a bachelor's degree in occupational studies. With classes available both in person and online. Gain the professionalism and confidence you need to further yourself and your career, and become a bigger part of your community. Wraparound services are available to fit your needs and provide all the necessary tools to achieve academic, personal, and career success. Start your journey at Santa Ana College, where it leads.
Back here from commercial break. Halftime break here, and the score is 24-7, advantage Citrus College over Santa Ana College. We have this QR code on your screen, and we want to let you know that you can now donate directly to the Santa Ana College athletics program. Know that your support goes directly towards helping our student athletes thrive both on and off the field. Your donation will go directly to them having the tools, resources, and opportunities to continue competing at a high level and representing Santa Ana College with pride. We appreciate you supporting for the Santa Ana College athletics family in advance. As we come back from action, we want to share some first half statistics here for the Santa Ana Dons and the Citrus Owls. The Owls are outgaining the Dons 253 yards to 125 for Santa Ana College. They have 182 yards through the air, 71 yards on the ground for Citrus, while the Dons have 48 yards through the air, 77 yards on the ground for the Dons. The Dons only have 6 first downs to Citrus's 11. And if you look at the turnover margin, neither team has turned the ball over. The Owls have punted it away twice, the Dons only once. Penalties, it's been a low penalized game. Dons have 4, the Citrus Owls have 3. Time of possession is in favor of the Dons by a few minutes. 16 minutes of possession to the Owls 13. But here's a big category mentioned to keep an eye on ahead of the broadcast. The Owls are 57%, 4 of 7 on third down conversions. The Owls are just 1 of 5. And we mentioned that they're a very strong fourth down conversion team. Well, they're 0 of 3 on fourth down conversions this evening. The Dons have gone to the red zone once and scored once. The Owls have gone to the red zone twice and scored both times. The Owls have also scored from outside the end zone, as we've had big plays, 58 yards, 26 yards, and then the last one being a 9-yard pitching catch. Leading thrower for the evening is Brian Salazar Jr. He has 182 yards through the air and 3 touchdowns, 16 of 21 in completion. It was him to Bateman Jr. that got the scoring started. It gave the Owls a 7-0 lead. Alex Hernandez hit a 35-yard field goal in middle way of the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, Bateman also hauled in another pass from Salazar Jr., 26-yard touchdown that made it 17-0. The Dons finally got on the board when Brandon Duran capped off a 7-play, 35-yard drive to make it a 17-7 score. And then Brian Salazar Jr. found Keaton Morales, a 9-yard pitch and catch to make it a 24-7 game before the end of the first half. We'll also get you some scores from around the 3C2A. Mustaine has this ball teed up. Gomez runs up to the 23 to catch it. Starts heading out of bounds. It does make it to the 29. If you look at some scores, so we're having some difficulties with the camera, but we'll do our best to get you the action. Second down and 10 after a rush of no gain from Arthur Shaw. Justin Gill and the Dons offense starts this second half. Ball is on the 29-yard line. Far hash. Dons moving from right to left. Fakes the handoff. It's a swing out to Shaw. He gets a key block from Gomez in the slot. Lowers his shoulder and barrels a defender out of bounds at the 35. Moss and Gomez made important blocks as receivers down here on the near side. And it sets up the Dons with a 3rd down and 5. That's Gill's 4th completion of the evening. He's now 4 of 8 entering today. Completion percentage of 44%. You never want to see that quarterback completion percentage dip below 50, but it's been tough sledding for Gill. First year as a Dons member and starting now after the injury to Nate Bento. 3rd down and 5, yard to gain is the Dons 40-yard line. Ball on the 35, near hash. Moss, the receiver, by himself on the bottom of your screen. He looks that direction. Moss makes a catch at the 40, goes backwards to go forward, now crosses midfield. Weaves his way through some defenders and is brought down at the 35. Brought down eventually by Elijah Ibanez and Maddox Barrios. 13 minutes left to go in the third quarter. A big play there for Moss. The freshman only had one reception. It was a big play, one reception for 37 yards. But Gill and Stafford both unable to find their freshman receiver. First down and 10, ball spotted at the Owls' 41-yard line as the Dons cross midfield. They trail 24-7. Again, dealing with some camera issues at the moment, but we'll call our best as a radio broadcast. Gill takes the snap, flushed out of the pocket to his left. Lots of room on the near side, crosses the 40, and is pushed out of bounds at the 35. They say 36. Second down and 5 coming up. Gill does have that in his arsenal. Not as ineffective as a runner as Nate Bento is, but still can make some plays with his feet. Second down and 5. The Dons make some substitutions in the backfield as Mickey Chinchilla checks back into the match. Arthur Shaw also in the backfield. To his right, two backs in the backfield. Meek down as a tight end on the left side of the formation. Malachi Beatty by himself at the top of the formation. Power run play to the left side. Chinchilla lowers his shoulder. Can't squeeze by the defender, Barrios. There's a flag down on the play, usually in the vicinity of holding. Referee tonight, Eric Stofers. He makes the call, and it is a holding penalty on the Dons. So back them up 10. Second down and 15 coming up. Penalties hurt the Dons in that final drive of the first half as they try to score one more time before the end of the first half. They trail 24-7. Ball on the 45. Yard to gain is the 31. Second down and 14. Two backs in the backfield. Meek down to the left of the formation. They motion Shaw out to the top of the formation. Gill drops back to pass, steps up into the pocket, decides to tuck it and run. Brought down from behind by Jarrell Comer. Gain of about 4 on the play to the Owls' 42-yard line. It's 3rd and 11. 4 down territory again for the Dons. 0 for 3 on the evening on 4th down. And they're 1 of 5 on the evening in 3rd down scenarios. 11-15. Here in the third quarter. Chinchilla, the deep back. Moss, the receiver by himself at the bottom of the formation. Now Shaw motions out and joins him here on the bottom of the formation. Gill looks to air it out deep, wants to hit Beatty. Beatty has some space. He makes the catch at the 10, passes the 5, and is into the end zone. That's the sophomore, Damian Gomez, who makes the touchdown reception from Justin Gill. It's now a 24-13 ball game. That's the second time this evening that we've seen the receiver on the outside get outside and pass the corner as if the corner was expecting some sort of safety help over the top. Diego Hernandez in to attempt the point after. The extra point is good. So we'll cut to a break here. Dons trail 24-14 as we try and figure out the camera situation.
People always ask.
Athletics YouTube channel, second down and 9 coming up. Dons trail 30-14. Dons head from right to left, still dealing with some camera difficulties. Shaw and the man in motion to the bottom of the formation. The handoff to Duran. Duran stutter steps, looks for a hole. Does have an opening. Brought down at the Dons' 46-yard line. So we'll treat this as a radio broadcast for the time being. Having some camera difficulties in the second half of action. Malachi Beatty runs in as a substitution onto the field for the Dons offense. They're huddled up ahead of this 3rd down and 1. They're 1 of 6 on 3rd down conversions this evening. It hasn't gone well for the Dons this evening offensively. They trail 30-14. Duran, 2 Gills left. Shaw also in the backfield. Flanked out to the right. Duran looks for an opening and finds one off the right guard. Squirts ahead to the 41, and it's enough for a Dons first down. Dons move the chains. Damian Gomez comes back in as a substitution. Malachi Beatty out. Gill makes his third start of the season. Game number 5. The Dons are 0-4. Citrus 3-1, currently the 14th ranked team in the state of California. The Owls are led by fifth-year head coach Brandon Hayashi. As the Owls stay on defense. Yard to gain is the Owls 49. Ball on the Dons 41. Shaw, the motion man, from right to left. Duran gets the handoff, and he just ducks under the gang tackle there by the Owls defensive line. Barrios, one of the first defenders there, along with Wakakala. Second down and 11. They say loss of 1 on the play. Two backs in the backfield. Meek to the left of the formation. Gomez down on the bottom of the formation on the Don sideline. Gill takes the snap. Looks for Moss on the top of the formation. Moss makes the first defender miss. Loses his cleat. And he shoots ahead to the 50-yard line. They say his knee was down at the 49. Third down and 2 coming up. Moss makes his third reception on the evening. The talented freshman from Irvine High School. Three receptions for 68 yards on the evening. Moss has been a fun player to watch this season for the Dons. A relatively young roster. Another third and short. Chinchilla in the backfield. He's the deep back. Shaw to the left of Gill. They motion Meek from the right to the left of the formation. A handoff to Shaw, the fullback. He pushes past the 50, chopped down by Kwakakala. Another first down for the Dons as he passes midfield down at the Owls 48. They're in plus territory here in this drive. 5:15 left to go in the third quarter. Dons huddle up, play at a much slower pace than we've seen the Owls play at. They like to go no huddle, get their plays in from the sidelines, and they can move relatively fast compared to the opponents that we've seen here. It's the third home match of the season for the Dons football team. Shaw motions out to the left side of the formation. A handoff to Chinchilla, the deep back. He fights past the first defender. There's some shoving late. Now there's more shoving going on between the Dons and the Owls offense and defensive line. It's been a physical match thus far. One of the Dons offensive line members got shoved late on top of the pile. A flag comes in right there at the 49 of the Owls. We'll see who this is going to be on. They always say they get the second person. If that's the case, it would be on the Dons. Head referee tonight is Eric Stofers, umpire Dexter Heyer Jr. Both having a conversation near midfield. Dons trail 30-14. Clock stopped at 4:32. They point to the direction of the Owls. And it is a penalty on Citrus College. So a big break there for the Dons offense. They march their way into Owls territory past the 35, and they'll have the ball at the 33-yard line. Dons go from right to left, trailing by 16. Gill in the offense huddles up. First-year head coach, Simon Fuentes. First-year offensive coordinator, Fred Romo. Moss to the top of the formation near the Owl sideline. Beatty here on the bottom. Meek in at tight end to the right of the formation. Shaw motions out to the right side as well to a slot. Chinchilla gets another handoff. Scoots past the first defender and chopped down again. That's Tyson Toscano in on the stop from the defensive tackle position. 4 minutes exactly in the third quarter. Clock continues to run. Second down and 9. Ball at the 32. Gomez comes in as a substitution for the Dons offense. They like to use that 2 running back formation with the tight end. 21 personnel, they call it. They've had success running the ball. 2 backs in the backfield. Chinchilla is the deep back one more time. Second down and 9. Gill wants to air it out. Finds Gomez on the near sideline, brought down at the 26. Sets up another third and short. So the Dons offense very methodical here in the second half. They've now had 3 straight third and less than 3. Doing a nice job of setting themselves up with favorable situations. We'll see what they do here. The entire playbook open. You would assume it's 4-down territory in case the Dons don't go backwards a lot on a big misplay. 3 receivers to the right of the formation. Gill with Jerron now as the deep back. He looks to the near side, finds Moss. Moss again makes the first defender miss. A side juke as he passes the 15. Cuts towards the near hash, makes the third defender miss, and he's brought down at the 7. Oh my, Moss, very fancy with the footwork. 2:35 left to go in the third quarter. Moss made about 7-8 players look foolish there on the Owls defense. His 4th reception on the evening. The Dons have 1st and goal. The Dons have to find a way to keep feeding Deacon Moss, whether it's outside wide like that on a hitch route, some sort of motion to get him going in the slot. No reason why he shouldn't get more than 5 or 6 targets a game. Justin Gill with 2 backs in the backfield. Jerron is the deep back. They pull 2 blockers that direction. He cuts back to the left, passes the 5, met by a wall of Owls defenders. And forward progress stopped at the 5-yard line. 2nd down and goal coming up. 1:47. Clock continues to run in the third quarter. Dons trail 30-14. Dons continue to fight, despite all the injuries they faced this year and the adversity of being in the National Division for the first time since 2015. Down 16 here, but they're looking to punch it in. Ball at the 5, 2nd down and goal. Draw on the deep back, Shaw to Gill's left. It's a pass play. Gill wants to air it out to Moss. Back shoulder fade, incomplete. Ball bounces off the shoulder pad of the corner in coverage. That's Curly Kirkpatrick Jr., sophomore from Chino. Clock stops at 1:11. Gotta imagine this is 4-down territory again for the Dons. A field goal doesn't really do much good here. Gomez jogs off the field. Malachi Beatty, a taller receiver, stands at 6'3". Checks into the game now. Dons break the huddle. Sean Jerron in the backfield. Jerron is the deep back. Meek down in the formation to the right. Ball in the middle of the field. Fakes the handoff to Jerron. Gill rolls to his right, looks for his tight end. Meek at the back of the end zone. It's caught, but the umpire says he's out of bounds. Unfortunate there. Nice play design. Gill able to make an accurate pass, but unable to keep his tight end in bounds. 1 minute left. Clock stops. Don's offense stays on the field, so a big 4th down. They haven't converted on a 4th down this evening. And now they run the field goal unit out. So Diego Hernandez and the rest of the field goal unit jogs out onto the field. 10 seconds left on the play clock. They'll have to play with some urgency. Down to 5. Snapped with 2 seconds left. Defender all up in his face, but Hernandez able to punch it through. 30-17 is the score. Dons trail. 55 seconds left to go in the third quarter. My name is Noah Alvarez, saying thanks for tuning in to Dons Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletic. So we're back here after the Dons punted away to the Owls. 11:51 in the fourth quarter. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties. We'll just do this game as a audio-only broadcast for throughout. The Dons still trail 30-17. We're in the final quarter of action. The Dons hoping to avoid their 5th loss. There is a flag on the play. And there's a flag for a face mask on the Dons. So 15 yards tacked on after the punt that went down to the 23. The Owls will get good field position, starting field position here this drive late in the fourth quarter. It's been a day for Brian Salazar Jr. He's had everything he's wanted. 17 of 23 through the air, 242 yards, and 4 touchdowns in the passing game today. The freshman from Monrovia, the Citrus Owls, showing us why they're the number 14th ranked team in the state of California. First down and 10, ball at the Owls 38. They motion a receiver. They hand it off to that receiver. Sandiford gets the handoff, leaps over a defender, and dragged down by Bagdanoff at the 48. What a fun, exciting run there. Bagdanoff limps off the field under his own power. A new linebacker comes in for the Dons. Dealt with a lot of injuries. Second down and 1 coming up. Three receivers to the right of the formation. Keaton Morales, the tight end, down. Short pass to Bateman. Bateman catches it across midfield to the Dons' 48. The Owls are back in positive territory. No huddle again. Already lined up for the next play. Three receivers and a tight end to the near side of the formation. 11 minutes exactly in this final quarter. Chapman, the deep back, gets a handoff to the left side. Tries to go off tackle. Vargas sets the edge beautifully. There's a flag that comes in late. Could be a holding penalty. Vargas was the first one there. Felemu finishes the job at the Dons' 48. There'll be no gain on the play if the play stands. But it's a holding penalty. Holding penalty on the offense by Citrus. It's their 6th penalty on the evening. The Dons have 7. Been a lot more penalties here in the second half that has slowed down the flow of the game a little bit. Owls lead 30-17, heading from right to left. And we apologize for the camera difficulties. Giving you the broadcast action, audio only. First down and 19. Salazar Jr. hands it off late to Chapman. It's a draw play. He goes up the middle, crosses midfield, gets a positive gain past the original line of scrimmage, is brought down at the 46. There's a player slow to get up. Porter Nix for the Dons, the defensive end, who's been impactful this season. A substitution. Sonny Salas checks in for him. 10.5 minutes left to go. Owls are already lined up. 3 receivers to the right of the formation. Chapman motions from the right to the left side of Salazar Jr. Now he motions out wide, comes back across. It's a midline. No, it's a shovel pass. Morales gets the pitch. Met up at the 45-yard line. 3 Dons defenders there in on the stop. Vincent Navarro was one of them, along with Riker Scott and Sonny Salas. So a few of the D linemen, along with Navarro, also getting in on the action. Dons are confused, making a few substitutions for this 3rd down and 6. They do have 11 on the field now. 3rd down and 6. Salazar Jr. has his receivers tight into the formation. Here's a throw to the far side, incomplete. Low for his intended target, Cameron Bateman. Bateman has had a big evening thus far. That time, Salazar Jr. unable to put it on him. Bateman has 5 receptions, 94 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. He was the main threat. Somebody to keep an eye on for the Dons defense, and they've been unsuccessful in doing so. The Owls have punted away. The Dons still do have a chance to make this a 2-score game. Ball punted away. A touchdown at the 11 by number 25, Jacob Cox. Correction, the Dons trail by 13, so it is a 2-score game. But a touchdown here can make it a 1-score game. With 9:12 left to go, you're listening to the Dons football on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. While there's this break in the action, remember the last 2 home games of the year will be on October 11th against Mount SAC, and then at October 25th against Ventura College. If you can't make it to Eddie West Field for either of those games, you can tune in to the live stream here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. First down and 10, ball on the Dons 12-yard line. Gill looks to pass on the first play to Moss. Pitch and catch. He's caught at the 12-yard line, 17-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. Second down and 4 coming up. Dons left to right. 9 minutes left to go in the final quarter. Dons break the huddle. 2 backs in the backfield. Jerron the deep back. Meekin on the formation, left side. Shaw motions to the near side of the formation. Jerron stutter steps one more time. Wrestled down by Leo Lopez. He's been a name we've called a lot for the Citrus defensive line. 3rd and 1 coming up. Yard to gain is the Dons 21. Ball is currently on the Dons 20. Near hash. Dons break the huddle with plenty of time on the play clock. 20 seconds left to be exact. Meek attached to the line on the near side. 2 receivers to the top of the formation. Another handoff to Jerron. 2 straight handoffs. He does fight ahead to the 33. Forward progress is stopped. Jadakiss Volkakala makes the stop. It's enough for a Dons first down. The clock does momentarily stop while the chains move. But once they are set, they continue to roll. Clock now rolling with 8 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter. Dons still huddling up. Not as much urgency as you would think here. Down by 2 scores, 30-17. Gill with 2 running backs in the formation. They motion Meek from the left to the right side. To hand off to Shaw. Shaw squirts ahead to the 30-25. Gain of 2 on the play. Comer with another tackle from that defensive end position. The Owls like to use that 2-4-5 defensive look. Very athletic linebackers down. They almost stand up every time. There's only 2 linemen that put their hand down in the dirt. The Owls are coming off a big upset victory last week. 48-43, they defeated Mount SAC. They're 3-1, 14th ranked team in the state. Shaw motions out to the left side of the formation. Gill looks for his receiver, Gomez. Gomez, it's behind him. Intended to catch that at the 42. The man in coverage is Curly Kirkpatrick Jr. Clock stops at 6:56. That time Gill unable to hit his receiver in stride. We'll see what the Dons call here on 3rd and 8. Trailing by 2 scores. Got to imagine this is 2-down territory. Leo Lopez jogs off the field. Bear Baker checks back in. On these 3rd and longs, the Owls will turn to that 3-down defensive lineman look. Drop 4 linebackers back. Some extra men in coverage. They only rush 3. Gill drops back to pass. Looks to the right. Stays on the right. Finds Moss at the 33. The yard to gain is the 33, and that's going to be enough for a Dons first down. Clock stops at 6:43 as he did tiptoe right out of bounds. 5th reception on the evening. They got to find a way to get that kid more involved in the offense. Moss has been a special player to watch not only this evening but the entire season for the Dons. They trail 30-17. 6:30 left to go. First down and 10. Ball in the near hash. New tight end is Zach Bogdan into the game, attached to the line on the right of the formation. Shaw gets another handoff back to the line of scrimmage. They say the 34, a gain of 1. That's Jerron who got the last handoff. Now 6 minutes and running. Final quarter of action here at Eddie West Field. Thought that maybe the Dons would go with some no-huddle offense in this drive. Trailing by 2 scores. A chance to cut it down to 1 score. Gomez in the slot. Left side of the formation. Jerron the deep back. It's a pass play. Jerron. Gill looks to air it out deep. Tries to find Moss. Lots of contact there. Kirkpatrick Jr. had hands all over him as Moss falls down to the ground. An incomplete pass and no flags. The referees are really hearing it from the home crowd. That could have been a big swing of momentum there. It'd be a 15-yard penalty, and the Dons would inch closer to midfield and that much closer to striking distance. The referee has a conversation with the coaching staff here on the near side. A tough no call there for the Dons. 3rd down and 9. Clock stops at 5:31. Chinchilla and Duran both in the backfield. Chinchilla motions out to the right side of the formation. Gill drops back. The Owls only rush 3. A pass complete to Moss. He's chopped down at the 45 of the Owls, but it's a big pass and completion from Gill to Moss. Enough for a Don's first down and to get into positive territory. 5:20 left to go in the 4th quarter. Dons huddle up here. They're in plus territory. They make a couple substitutions. Gomez and Shaw in at receiver to the top of the formation. Meek back into the game for Bogdan. Moss by himself to the right. Gill looks to the left. Finds his tight end. Meek catches it at the 40 and stopped by Ibanez. Ibanez does a nice job of going low on the tight end and stopping his feet. 4:50. The clock continues to tick away. Dons huddle up one more time. Moss checks out. Braden Downen, the receiver from Lakewood, checks in. We'll see if the Dons can strike here in an efficient amount of time. Give them a chance to make a defensive stand and potentially get the ball back for a game-tying or game-winning drive. 2nd down and 6. Yard to gain is the Owls' 34. Gill drops back for another pass play. Looks to his left, now flush to his right. Throws it to the sideline, and Kirkpatrick comes away with it. Kirkpatrick interception at the 27, and it's back to the Owls. Justin Gill was facing pressure. Threw it on the run, unsure if he wanted to get it out of bounds or to his receiver. Braden Downen, the intended target. And the offense comes off the field with their heads down in disappointment. Did look like the Dons are starting to build upon some momentum, but unfortunately, an interception cuts their drive short. They turn the ball over with 4:12 left to go. Final quarter of action. Salazar Jr. with Chapman in the backfield. He gets it, weaves right, spins past the defender, and gets past another tackler. Past the 45, and he's escorted out of bounds at the 49. But hold on, folks, there's a flag on the play. We'll see if this one's coming back down at the 32-yard line. They say a personal foul, face mask penalty on the Dons, their 8th penalty on the evening. Tack on the extra yards. After the run, and it's a huge, huge swing of momentum for the Owls. They don't need the extra points. They'll take it if they can get it here in the final 4 minutes of the last quarter. Morales down as a tight end to the near side of the formation. Salazar Jr. in the backfield with Chapman. They motion a receiver to the right side. They want to throw it to short. No, and it's Bateman who makes the catch down at the 16. So it was a fake pass on the motion man. It was Sire Foster who they sent in motion. We've seen that play a few different times by the Owls offense. The Dons bit. Wide open was Bateman, and they're lucky that Salazar Jr. wasn't able to hit Bateman in stride, or else it would have been another touchdown. 1st down and 10 from the Dons' 13-yard line. A handoff to Chapman. Stood up at the 14-yard line. Porter Nix, the first one to get there for the Dons. 3 minutes left. Dons do have all 3 of their timeouts left. 2nd down and long 8 coming up. Another substitution as Nix checks out. Sonny Salas checks back in for the Dons. Citrus in the red zone. Jojo Enriquez into the tight end, along with Morales, both to the right side of the formation. Fakes a handoff to Barraza Jr. He looks for his tight end over the middle, and that's Foster. Foster makes the grab at the 9, his 2nd reception on the evening, 3rd reception on the season. Foster, that freshman from Victorville High School. The Owls remain aggressive, are in the red zone, are in danger of scoring again, blowing this wide open. 3rd down and 3. 10-second differential between the play clock and the game clock, so they don't have to get a playoff here. They will take this down to the 2-minute timeout. And with that timeout, we'll cut to a timeout ourselves here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion. Someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
After the timeout, it's 3rd down and 3 for the Citrus offense. They have the ball at the Dons' 9-yard line. The yard to gain is the 7. A handoff to Barraza Jr. He cuts right. Nix is the first one to meet him in the backfield. A few more Dons rally as he does push ahead for a 1-yard gain to the Dons' 8, and they'll set up 4th down and 1. Salazar and Jr. and the Owls offense momentarily stays onto the field. Final 2 minutes of action, 1:36. Clock continues to roll. No sign of the Dons going to use their final 3 timeouts. In case you missed it, we're having some technical difficulties with the camera, so we're bringing you the feed, audio only. Owls lead 30-17. They're the number 14th ranked state team in the state of California. Pulled off a big victory last week against Mount SAC. 48-43 was the final score. And now the Owls will use their first timeout as they run the play clock all the way to 0. 1:11 left to go in the 4th quarter. We'll recap some of the action that took place. Again, in the first quarter, it was all Citrus, 17-0, thanks to 2 touchdowns by Cameron Bateman. The first one from Salazar Jr. was 58 yards, and the second one, 26 yards. In between that, Alex Hernandez hit a 35-yard field goal, and they led 17-0 at the end of the first quarter. Brandon Duran gave the Dons their first score, a 1-yard run, a 7-play, 63-yard drive, and Duran was able to pick up 30 yards on the ground during that drive. Citrus then went up and responded quickly. 8:49 left to go in the second quarter, while Salazar Jr. found his tight end Keaton Morales for a 9-yard pitch and catch in the end zone to make it a 24-7 game. The Dons responded first in the second half. Gale was able to find Damian Gomez all by himself on the far sideline to make it 24-14. Citrus did respond later in the third. A long pitch and catch from Lorenzo Simmons to Brian Salazar that made it 30-14. Diego Hernandez did hit a 22-yard field goal to cap off a 13-play, 68-yard drive for the Dons at the very end of the third. Neither team has scored in the 4th quarter, but Alex Hernandez out with the field goal unit. 25-yard field goal is blocked by the Dons. Blocked by the Dons. They pick it up, and they have a convoy in front of them. Past midfield. We can't see a number yet, but we'll let you know once we do. Past the 20, the 10. And it's a touchdown for the Dons. A blocked field goal. Amari Bochy, the freshman from Irvine High School. How about that Irvine football program? Both him and Moss have made their impact felt. This is the first game of the season for Amari Bochy. And just like that, it's back to a 1-score game. 54 seconds left after the blocked field goal. Right now, the Dons trail 30-23. Diego Hernandez to attempt the point after. This would make it a 6-point game. Of course, because the Dons have all 3 of their timeouts, I'm sure they're going to go for an onside kick. But even if they don't get it, they could potentially get a 3-and-out and get the ball back. Who would have thought? A blocked field goal late in this game has the Dons back in within striking distance. You're listening to Dons Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. We'll get you some scores from around the 3C2A because we were unable to do so around that halftime break as we were dealing with some camera difficulties. Riverside City defeated Palomar 62-49. Fullerton on top of Orange Coast 58-12 is the final on that one. Golden West defeated ELAC 56-14. If we look at some teams from the same division as Santa Ana College. Mount Sac up on top of Moore Park 54-9 with 13 minutes left to go in that game. Ventura currently leads Santa Barbara City College 56-7, 5:40 left to go in the third quarter. So Devin Coleman has his ball on the tee. One Dons player runs off the field. I think he's going to have to run back onto the field. Still 13 seconds left on the play clock. Some confusion here by the Dons on this big kickoff. The Owls have their onside kick return team on. It's a quick up the middle. Coleman might have gone to it at the 45. It's a scrum. The referees are going to try and sort this one out. The Owls point to that direction as if they have it. It was right up the middle. Coleman might have gotten the ball along with somebody else. Still the pile being sorted out. The Owls now celebrate as if they have possession, and they did come away with the ball. Coleman was there along with Jerron and Caleb Grant. A savvy play, an idea there by the Dons special teams unit. But unfortunately, it's recovered by the Owls. Now remember, the Dons still have all 3 timeouts left. So if the Owls go 3 and out, they can run some time off the clock. 49 seconds left to be exact. We'll see how aggressive the Owls are and if they air it out and let Salazar Jr. try and ice this game away. 1 first down would pretty much end it. Ball on the Dons 44. Chapman in the backfield. Chapman gets the handoff off to the right side. Met by Navarro at the 42. 2-yard gain on the play. Timeout called right away by the Dons defense. 41 seconds left in this game. Wow. Who would have thought? Also, Allen Hancock defeated Long Beach City College 23-21. Those are the other 2 teams in action. We mentioned Long Beach City College still looking for their first victory. The Dons take on Long Beach City at Long Beach on October 18th on the road. Thanks again for tuning in to Dons Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. An exciting finish here at the final 40 seconds left. Dons trail 30-24. They're the only team to score in the fourth quarter. In case you missed it, it was an Amari Bucci blocked field goal that led to a touchdown. He blocked it at the 25-yard line, took it back 75 yards for a Dons touchdown. Last year, there was a few different times that the Dons came away with some big plays in their win over Glendale College and their win over Chaffey College. And a few other times as well as I try to recollect from last season. After the timeout, it's 2nd down and 8. Ball on the Dons 42. The yard to gain is the Dons 34. Chapman, the deep back. Salazar Jr., naked boot. Finds his receiver. No, it's broken away. What a play by Josh Patton. Patton comes from the safety position, and the clock will stop as the Citrus Owls elect to put the ball in the air. 34 seconds left in the game. Jojo Enriquez, the intended target. Clock stops at 34 seconds. The Owls huddle up, talk things over. I'm sure they'll put this one on the ground to make the Dons use their final timeout. 3 receivers bunch tightly. The bottom of the formation. To hand off to Chapman off the right side. Does get past the 40, but he's met by the Dons at the 36. They say 35. Now here's a huge decision coming up for the Owls. 4th down and 1. Too many yards gained there by the running back. I'm sure if you're the Dons, they use their second timeout. 26 seconds left. 4th down and 1. Huge play here for your Owls. I'm sure they're talking about your options. You could punt this away. You could line up your offense out and try and draw the defense off sides and get the first down through the penalty. Or you can have a play call. I'm sure they might elect to run for it, it being 4th and 1. Or you can also go with the play action. We haven't seen Salazar Jr. under center, but I'm sure that's always an option too. We've seen a lot of tush-push at different levels of football, both at the pro and the collegiate level. So that might be an option there if they have that in their playbook. Brandon Hayashi huddled up with the Citrus offense. Of course, Simon Fuentes and the coaching staff huddled up with the Dons defense here on the near side. Comes down to this play, 4th and 1. Do the Dons have another stop in them to get the ball back? Less than 30 seconds left. They trail by 6. Don's home crowd makes some noise. Salazar Jr. walks up under center. He takes the snap. He doesn't get forward progress. Met at the 35, and the Dons celebrate as if they got a huge 4th down stop. The Owls are pointing as if they got the first down. And the spot is right there at the 35. No, sir, no first down for the Owls. 21 seconds left, and the Dons get the ball back with 1 timeout remaining. Holy cow, what a game this has turned out to be. Again, all thanks to the Amari Bucci 75-yard blocked field goal return for a touchdown. 21 seconds left. Dons get it at their own 35, so they do have to travel a long ways. They need a touchdown. No field goal will do. Gill lines up with 3 receivers to the right of the formation. Malachi Beatty, the lone receiver at the top. Duran, the deep back. The Owls only rush 3. There's pressure that forces Gill to step up. He floats it out to Gomez. Gomez does get out of bounds, but they continue to roll the clock. Some miscommunication between the referee on the far side. The clock does now stop at 12 seconds. The Dons have to burn their final timeout, but Gomez took a hit at the 39-yard line, and the hit drove him out of bounds. Sometimes they do only give you the out-of-bounds clock stoppage if you go out of bounds under your own willpower. I'm sure they're making the argument that he was pushed out of bounds. And so the Dons have to burn their final timeout. They put 3 seconds back on the clock, 15 seconds exactly. Dons trail 30 to 24. So not an ideal start. But remember, the clock does stop if they get a first down. So you can still attack the middle of the field. Get a big chunk play, maybe to the midfield or 45 of the Owls. Run up, clock it, stop the clock, and hopefully you have one more play in you. 15 seconds, enough for 2 plays. Dons have the ball at their own 36, 2nd down and 9. Gill, again, 3 receivers to the right of the formation. The Owls only rush 3. Gill has time, now steps to his left. There's 9 seconds left. He's still looking for a target. Beatty makes the catch. No, he drops it last second. The referees are going to say he was out of bounds. He had a foot out of bounds, and there is a penalty flag down at the Dons 31. Gill thinks it's on the Owls defense. There's 5.8 seconds left on the play clock. Can only imagine that'd be enough for one. And so it's a penalty on the Dons. They go backwards to the 26. Still a chance here for the Dons. 5 seconds left. Got to imagine this is the last play. Maybe you just have your best lateral play if you have something practiced like that during the course of the weeks. Gill drops back. Looks to air it out towards the right side of the field. Intercepted by Kirkpatrick Jr. at the 40. He still has the ball in his hand, being chased by Moss. He gets past him, past the 30, and walks out of bounds at the 22-yard line. So that's how this game will come to an end. The Dons bring things relatively close as they have in the past 2 games here at Eddie West Field, but they fall to Citrus College 30-24. Simon Fuentes and the Dons coaching staff falls to 0-5 on the season. Next week they have a bye, and then they return to action on October 11th as they host the Mount SAC Mounties, the number 8 team in the state of California. They come to town on October 8th. Kickoff set at 6 p.m. Citrus advances to 4-1, and they also have a bye week as well before they begin or return to conference play. Their next game will take place at Long Beach City College on October 11th. My name is Noah Alvarez. Big thanks to Sal and Cami for setting up the broadcast. Dons fall